What is up, y'all? It is your boy Winston Wolf. I'm back. I just want to do a quick video. The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 5. Alright, it's... I don't know what's going on with this season. I don't know if it has something to do with, like, behind-the-scenes stuff, as far as maybe having a mandate to introduce more characters or another storyline. But I feel like they haven't even scratched the storyline as far as trying to find Grogu's home planet. Or maybe they just don't even have an end game because, as everybody knows from the sequel trilogy, they didn't even have like an outline for where they wanted to go for that. They were just doing one movie at a time and just making it up as they go along, which is still mind blowing for something that big. That was, that's kind of like that probably is the godfather of like expanded universes and things like that. That you wouldn't even at least have a skeleton of a roadmap of where you were going with that. And that could be the case with this. Maybe they were going to do just like a limited series and only got to a certain point as far as, what their blueprint was. So they're like, well, this is more successful than we thought. Despite what, and I don't want to hear people that, oh, this new season is a flop, this new season. People are still watching it, so I don't know whatever you're trying to see, because you got these cornball channels like Arcade Outpost and Nerdrotic and all this, that they just celebrate things that they claim that they love, but they just celebrate these things going through tough times or just not being good at all, instead of being like, man, this stuff needs to get in the hands of capable people. They're just lames. So yeah, it's everybody I work with, they watch the show. So I'm talking about real people. I'm not talking about some analytics or whatever. I'm talking about actually talking with people, which they wouldn't know anything about because they sit in the house all day. Imagine the lives of these cornballs. You know what I'm talking about. What dorky name do they got? The Fandom Menace. So cringe and cornball. But imagine what kind of life these dorks have, because they have to sit by the computer all day. Not by the computer, but they have to be near the computer to make the content, because they have to be there as soon as the news drops. What, 4 or 5 times a day? A lot of time just repeating the same thing. They're just cornballs. Imagine how lame their life is. Imagine how lame they would have to be to continuously do that and never like anything, never have anything positive to say. But yeah, but this show, I think maybe it was just maybe a little bit more successful than they thought. And so they have to introduce more things into it. But like I was going to say, this is the first episode where I'm just like, Like, I've already seen all the Mandalorians get together and fight as a team. I've already seen that. It was cool the first time, in the first season? It was cool because you never saw nothing like that before. You barely even saw any Mandalorians, let alone a whole crew of them. I'm talking about live action. You never saw a whole crew of them banding together to help and fight a bunch of people. And just the different designs of the suits and everything. Yeah, that was cool. But like I said, we already seen it. So this kind of feels like, especially with this episode, we're just retreading ground that they've already gone over. It doesn't really feel like, it was like the only thing that moved this story forward was when you found out that Moff Gideon, he got broken out by supposedly some Mandalorians, broken out of the transport shuttle. So he's free somewhere, which we already know too, which was like, we already know he was going to be a part of this. So it's even that like end reveal cliffhanger. It was just like, we knew he was around. That were we supposed to be like, oh my God, he's alive somewhere. I'm sorry, I don't feel good. My voice is going again. But yeah, I just feel like this is, if you've watched any, shows growing up, like with X-Files, I hated, I called them the filler episodes. Because I always wanted them to stick to what happened with Mulder's sister, the main storyline. But then they would have oh, hey guys, there's a Bigfoot down in New Orleans. Go down there and investigate it. I hated those episodes, and this felt like one of those episodes. But honestly, even when these are bad, it's kind of like the old saying, even if you have bad pizza, it's still pizza. It's not a complete waste. Again, you're seeing Baby Yoda, you're seeing the Mandalorian, you're seeing the other Mandalorians, you're seeing Apollo Creed. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I just feel like, again, this is another week we gotta wait. This is another episode where they could have got to the main story. I want to find out what's going on with Luke and everybody else, but I have a feeling they're saving that for the Ahsoka show. But don't do that, because there's plenty of other stories you can tell with her. Just get to the story that you started with this. Stop veering off into the lame Boba Fett stuff. Stop veering off into all this other stuff. Stick to the main story. I think that's what everybody wants, and that's what made everybody get into this show in the first place. 0 to 10 dog bones, episode 5. I give it, man. I give it a 5. Just not bad, not good. Just disappointed, because I've liked pretty much every single episode since this show started. And this is the one where I was kind of like, started looking at my phone. Started being like, what's going on now? Okay. But again, I feel like with this that the special effects for most of the episodes have really stepped up from the previous seasons, from the previous 2 seasons. And a lot, I feel like the special effects in this are better than they were in the sequel trilogy. Definitely. So 5 dog bones out of 0 to 10. We're going to give it an rating. This is your boy Winston Wolf. I'm out.